Just keep it really simple. I've always played Fenders. I also play a Maiden, which is a master sound, and it has a totally different character. But my Fender Teles have Bartolini pickups, and they sound like a traditional Fender pickup, but just much bigger. And I can make my amps distort a lot more using these pickups. But I use a really simple setup, and I like my guitar to have a real traditional tone, you know. And that's why I've always loved the Telecaster. It's just such a great guitar to play, and it's so versatile. You can do a jazz gig. And then you can, you know, and you got the, and you're immediately in James Burton territory as soon as you hit that back pickup. So that's why I love these guitars. They just got a really great sound, and they're so much fun to play to. I use a Fender Twin amp with the standard speakers in it, and I back the master back a little to about 6, and then I bring the preamp up to about 5, I guess, and it's pretty raucous. But you can balance on the edge of distortion all the time. You just back it off a little, and it's clean, you know. So that's what I use for that, and I just have a couple of pedals. I use a Ibanez Tube Screamer sometimes. The Nobel distortion pedal is killer. I like that one. And I just use a little Boss delay unit, and that's it. Just keep it really simple. I use about 4 amps, and I mic them all up, and I do a mixture of the amps to get my sound, tone and my sound. And so you have small amps and bigger amps, and I just do a mix of those tones, and that becomes my one big sound. So, but I also find that if you use a small amp and expect to get a really big sound, that's a hard call. You know, you have to really have a great small amp and something like a great gold top Les Paul or something with plenty of mid-range. But usually with the Telecaster, if you want to get a big sound, it's best to have big amps and lots of speakers. Everything's mic'd up, front and back. Even like the Fender Twin has an open back. I used to stick a mic down the middle there just to get all that trouser flapping bottom end, you know. To get your own sound with the electric guitar, you have to, that's something that evolves, the same as you do, you know. And I think that eventually someone finds the sound that they really feel is them, and they stick with it, and no matter what guitar they play, that's what they sound like. You know, the sound comes from here. And, you know, I've always loved the sound of the Telecaster, so that's kind of been my sound, you know. And of course, the people like Eric Clapton, who plays a Strat and it sounds like a 335. How do you explain that? It's hard to understand, but it's his fingers. You know, he makes that happen. So a person needs to go searching for their sound, and through experience in music, that sound evolves, and then it's sort of like it's always been there. You know?
Mr. Tam,